It is a bright morning when the call comes. Everything becomes brighter, like a vision of a blast in a film. It is as if everything solid has broken into pieces, as if the world has cracked. It is a shivering, an unshakable sickness. It feels like concrete in the stomach, shattered and stark as ice on deep water, struck with a blade. Like being held under, lungs filling, sorrow deep enough to drown in. And this is a failed attempt to say, it feels like being locked in a dark room screaming, alone and falling. The repetitive rhythm is not a glitch, it is an artifact of pain, repeating. It feels like being constantly watched. It is an assault, it is a wailing. It is being forced into a nightmare without being allowed to sleep. It is everywhere, as if all the masks have dropped. It is living in the real, and it is the remembered real. This is a shattering, a textbook version of trauma as an extreme cliché. The silence after an echo of a stone pounding. It is begging, no one hearing. Like losing a mind while breathing and smiling. Like a hand around the throat, forced deeper into the wreck of it. A rage, like raging. This is the core of the atrocity, the outside world turned inwards. There is so much violence. It is mainlining butterflies. It is swallowing nails. It is being hollowed, scraped out, as if saturated with a secret that must only pour from eyes. The wind exists only as pine trees moving. Trust, the elixir, seeps from our bodies, always too far away to feel. We cannot stand. There is just skin and hair and fragile bone. It is like being stabbed from the inside, being held under, struggling, still, not wanting to move, holding out a hand, finding nothing, losing any grip, being interrogated by buildings, by streets, by your absence, the air, standing in silence. What is left? It is a heart, broken. There is no syntax or simile to do justice to this, no metaphor, as if to speak would be more violence. It was as if I had lost language, been forced to the outer edge of words, left with a body that even Antigone would refuse to hold in her arms. It is the immediate aftermath. I am living at the centre of a wound still fresh. Inside only silence. I have lost all sense of countable time and all respect for aesthetics, or that which Audre Lorde writes, pertains to things perceptible to the senses, that pertain to things material as opposed to things thinkable. The unthinkable has happened, it is here. I can only bear this body, these words, heavy, in plea to others' words, as the I is not only mine, it belongs to many. Ocean Vuong writes that metaphor in the mouths of survivors becomes a way to innovate around pain, that language locks in my throat. It is wrong to innovate around this pain. My limbs are frozen. Is it futile to dig for the roots of violence? I have nothing to dig with but my fingers, these primitive keys as words the only way in. Metaphor belongs to the Eurocentric sublime. It has no place in this brown skin, which has only been understood in relation to, as shadow is to light. An event happens and happens and happens. This is a definition of trauma. Splintering trust in language. This is horror, and horror is piercing. This is terror, and it floods the synapses, freezing all response. Break to gesture. And the gesture of horror is hand over mouth, and the gesture of terror is the blade, and the gesture of trauma is hand over eyes, and the gesture of pain is head in hands. Do not see, do not speak, do not hear. There are acts of such vicious duplicity and damage. They turn solid bodies into molten grief. In moments of deep loss, we become as children, trained to seek comfort in the old fairy tales, the fundamental good versus the fundamental evil. We crave the redemptive hope of the hero's journey in the old tradition of linear story. From when we are born, we are immersed in this, the dominant mythic. We wait for someone to deliver us. But my skin and tongue are dark. My mind made multitudes by history, memory as bani, water as anagram of pain. I experience love through a porous border. I apprehend faith as the lack of it, trust only as its loss. The body is grief, the body is guilt, the body is doubt. The body is the state. I must write it. I cannot skin myself. I am shattered, cannot put the pieces down, cannot speak, cannot ask you to listen. It would be too much to hope for as the event has happened, and when hearing is a form of feeling. Is it easier to write fiction, to represent? An event happens and happens and happens as wave after wave breaking us. My blood turns on itself. I have always known whiteness as splitting. I was schooled to know brownness as shame. The world as experienced keeps turning. I know that the quiet ones are inside us, waiting, ferocious and bound to harm. Something has happened. I no longer believe in the potential of words to resist, to heal or to sing the horizon. This is the heart of a country of radical doubt, the atrocity called home. Its rules were written in the beginning. The ivory towers stare straight ahead. Their dizzying heights demand we do not look down to the unsurvivable depths. Power covers its pale stone, red as the autumn ivy cultivated to hide the crumbling bricks. Its delighted beauty rises from these foundations, the organizing fictions of gender and race, a class system, education, literature as structural harm, cracking and breaking, law and order, cement of the atrocity walls. Some of its subjects are citizens, and all of us are its subjects. And its fairy tale goes that violence is born in some bodies. It lies innately within. The ontological categories are human, not quite human, non-human, that we hide our nature until we choose. We must forfeit from feeling, from our feeling. We must be punished and banished, made and remade and nurtured to obey or reveal ourselves in our monstrosity, and when one case proves the rule. To create such categorical myths requires, in fact, a novelist's skill, and your suspension of disbelief. The end game is a child's life and mind, maybe one day even ours. What does the atrocity fear above all? The dissolving of distinctions that would separate the inside from the outside, the collapse of the fantasy of sovereignty. Extreme power is a drug, beckoning solace with the promise of the community, tantalizing the shine of individual glory, demanding obedience while it peddles death. The distance from words to violence is infinite, unmeasurable, and intimate and infinitesimal, and felt as relentless until, inside the gates of the atrocity, the threat level is extreme. This body is heavy as words. They are unbearable. Carry them now through this pale flat land, the page, to fact, to lie, to grief, to shame, to daring to speak. There is no safety here. When we speak, no wonder it can feel like everything shatters. We can become the point from which things cannot be reassembled. Turn an imperfect circle, seeking solace in familiar forms, now splintered by violence into radical doubt. School, stories, poetry, theory, stories, politics, stories, police, and return to prison, which at most we only apprehend through the hammering fictions of the reading room, written, they say, for empathy. Heavy, heavy, my arms reach out, palms open, fingers splayed, but they cannot find yours. This is a lament for many. Who will gather and hold these fragments? Who will? Oh, who will?